All right, what's up, guys? It's IFBB Pro, Seth Shaw, aka Slankamania, aka Big Slank. You already know what it is. All right, so we're going over these questions that I got from the Instagram yesterday, and I got a handful of them here, so I'll try to be quick. So, first question I got was my thoughts on drinking a gallon of milk a day. Well, for most people, that probably wouldn't be a great idea because usually people have tons of issues with dairy, like myself. There's certain things I can't eat and it will mess up my stomach, and other things that I can eat that's, I guess, dairy and it won't. Like if I go eat Grater's ice cream or I drink milk or something like that, it will really jack up my stomach. So if it works for you, then I guess keep drinking your milk. How to keep a small waist. I think this is genetic for the most part. But I think a lot of people blow out their stomachs from the style of their training, their inability to move, their mobility lack, so it starts to thicken up around your waist. And just forcing tons of food. I don't think it's a drug issue. I made a video about this the week of my show when I was in Tampa. But I think keeping a small waist is the ability to move, and I don't think it's a drug thing. I think it's a food thing and not be able to move properly. What's the next one we got here? What's the important factors of getting stage ready? Getting lean as possible and maintaining a decent fullness. Is it possible to gain strength and lose body fat? Well, of course, it just depends on how you're training. You could lose body fat and get stronger, but if you want to gain muscle, you're going to have to do things a little different. Thought on fasted cardio or regular cardio. To me, I've done both, and I think if you're really trying to get down to lower levels of body fat, I would recommend doing some fasted cardio. If you're doing regular cardio, like a different time during the day, never do it pre-workout, always do it post-workout, and keep the cardio away from the training if you're going to do it like that, or just do it after your training where your glycogen levels are depleted. That's going to burn the most body fat. Would I like to live in the city or the country? I definitely don't want to live in the middle of nowhere, but I don't want to be so jam-packed in like a big city. I guess, like, I've never been to New York, but everybody says it's like you're on top of everything, so I probably wouldn't like that. I like where I live now. It's like around the corner from a grocery store or a gas station, so do that. My top goal in bodybuilding before I retire would be great to be on that Olympia stage. It would be even amazing to win the Arnold Classic for my hometown in Ohio. So that's a big goal of mine that I'd like to accomplish in the next several years once I fill out this frame and get everything figured out come that last week. For some reason, the last week of these shows that I've been doing, it's always like a tanning issue, a flat issue, or something. So once I figure out and get all the pieces to the puzzle, I think we'll be where we need to be. How to combat gynecomastia? Well, one, don't take steroids. Number two, if you do take steroids, run a Arimidex or Aromacin. Definitely get blood work to see where your estrogen levels are actually at. You can use Aspire Rejuvenation. I've kind of linked up with Tomo. He owns a couple of those rejuvenation centers. And if you go there, fill out the paperwork and mention my name, they'll give you a special offer. They'll send out your blood work, so you can do that, and then you'll have a FaceTime consult. And they can get you the medications and stuff you need to prevent anything like that if that is an issue for you. The best heart rate monitor, John got me hooked on that Polar 10 from Amazon. You just go on Amazon, type in Polar 10. It's like 60 to 80 bucks depending on which guy or which person you buy it from. But I recommend that one. It's a little app on your phone. You can watch your heart rate, make sure you're recovering between the sets. If you're doing it for cardio, you can watch what heart rate zone you want to be in to burn fat or increase your endurance. The next one, top 3 muscles for a balanced physique. Well, if you want a balanced physique, there wouldn't be top 3, it would be everything. So you want everything to look all in proportion and symmetrical. So you wouldn't be a top 3, it would be a balance of everything. How to keep your hair on a cycle. Well, you're talking to the wrong guy because you got a receding hairline. But yeah, there's things like finasteride you can use. Also, get back with Tomo from Aspire Rejuvenation and get your blood work and stuff, and they can get you medications for that as well. It's best to talk to a physician for that. Let's see here. We got deloading. What does a deload look like for me? So I've done this many ways. So one way that I've done this in the past is I just increase the volume and decrease the intensity through my workouts. So instead of doing, 1 set per exercise, I'll do 3 and lower the weight and do higher reps. That's a way to do it. Or just take a week off of training and rest and recover. Don't think about the gym. You can do cardio at low intensity still to keep everything moving. I think those are 2 of the best ways to do a deload. Should there be a men's physique division? For the sport to make more money, yes. In my opinion, not really. I feel like bodybuilding is bodybuilding and everyone should try to be their best. I don't feel like there should be a governor on your physique. I don't feel like, I don't want to get that big, so I'll just stay this big. But do what makes you happy, man. If you want to look like a men's physique guy, I don't want to look like that. I want to be massive and huge and have great lines and a taper and look like what a bodybuilder is supposed to look like. I don't want to look super small and 180 pounds again. Count macros or use a meal prep company. I guess I do count macros, but not really. I just make sure I eat, 8 to 10 ounces of meat per meal. And then my carbohydrates, I'll do around 100 grams per meal or more. And if I was supposed to have, say, English muffins for 100 carbs and I don't have any, I'll do 100 carbs from rice, vice versa. My main carb sources are jasmine rice and English muffins and carbohydrate powder. And sometimes I'll throw potatoes in there. Do I use meal prep company? So I just linked up with the Chicken Pound. So if you guys like cooked chicken, they have great flavors. I had the balsamic, the teriyaki, and the barbecue. They also got plain chili lime and something else, but it's actually really good chicken and it's pretty good price. And then I have a promo code for that. It's just SLANK, SLANK. That's those guys, Nick Trigilli introduced me to the guy over there, and it's great. I love it. It comes in comes in 8-ounce packages. There are 2 flavors, one flavor put together in 2 packages, 8 ounces of each. So you get chicken by the pound, comes in 1 pack. My current training split, it's been the same forever. I do Monday biceps and back. Wednesday I do chest, delts, and triceps. And Friday I do legs. I do cardio every other day, and then I'll throw 1 to 2 Ken stretch classes in there for myself. My thoughts on DC training. I've done it years ago, but after about 3 weeks, it really starts to hurt all my joints, so I don't do that. I like to stick with what I'm doing now. You can't always progress in weight every week, if I remember this correctly, like you go up in weight every week. I've talked about this before, the law of accommodation. You have to do things for X amount of weeks, and then you have to pull back and switch exercises. So you could do a deload for week 4. So you can push 3 weeks, pull back 1 week for a deload, and then go back to the same exercises. Or you can switch exercises on week 5 and do 5, 6, 7. Then deload again. So if it works for you, then go for it. But personally, I don't use DC training. How many sets for larger body parts? This is the final question. It's going to depend on you. I normally do around 2 to 3 sets for chest. Today, I actually did 4 sets, and I just felt like it was almost too much, honestly. I know people think it's crazy when I do super low volume, but I'm training at a high intensity. You guys watch my videos on my Instagram or my YouTube, and you can see the amount of effort and intensity that I'm putting into these sets, and there's no way possible that you can maintain that intensity over the course of 20 sets for a body part. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So, the best way to put on muscle mass is high intensity, low volume. You cannot have both. I had a guy ask me a question today on Instagram. What do you think of this ex-trainer? He trains high volume, high intensity. I'm like, well, you can't do both. You can either have high intensity at a low volume, or you can have high volume at a low intensity. And the best way to put on muscle mass is high intensity for a low duration and a low volume. That's what it is. You can't maintain a top, like, think about this. If you're sprinting, right, you can't maintain, once you get to your top speed, how many seconds can you maintain that top speed before it comes back down? Maybe a few seconds, you know? So you're not gonna be able to maintain a high intensity lifting weights. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna maintain a high intensity for an hour and a half, 2-hour weight training session for a body part. It's just not going to happen. And this isn't my opinion. This is what science says. So thanks for your guys' questions. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. If you guys are interested in the Slankamania clothing or the Great White clothing, I'll have the link down below. I post it in my Instagram. It's in my bio. It's sethshaw.fit. It's got everything on there. It's got the Aspire Rejuvenation. It's got Buckeye Brownies discount code. We got Chicken Pound discount code. Bullfrog Nutrition. They have a supplement course for you guys if you want to get certified in supplements. It's like it's groundbreaking. It's the first supplement certification course there is, and it's got like 20 hours of education across tons of different IFBB pros and other trainers in the industry, and it's a pretty good course from Paul from Bullfrog. So yeah, I appreciate the support and you guys watching the channel. So definitely check it out, and stay tuned for more Q&As.